I'm going to run into this office today and work on the new Obama film we're doing that exposes the left-right paradigm and shows how he's just continuing Bush's exact policies with just a little bit different rhetoric on top. Oh, and by the way, in closing, Obama is now claiming that he's going to shut down Guantanamo Bay. A year ago, the Pentagon said it was going to be shut down, that they were going to move the, quote, inmates there who are being held in indefinite detention without, a proper legal system in violation of the Bill of Rights and Constitution, and that they were just going to move them into the United States. Now, that's exactly what Obama's come out and said. He said what McCain said 2 years ago about use the Army manual. And this has happened because courts have ruled it's all illegal, what's going on, and so they're being forced to do this. The Pentagon was already doing this. This was already happening, and Obama now is saying in the next year he'll decide what to do. I'm going to shut it down. I'll look at doing that in the next year. That's exactly what the Bush crowd have been talking about. Meanwhile, the indefinite detention, the John Warner Defense Authorization Act, the Military Commissions Act, PD 51, all of these powers continue and accrue. And I saw Obama a few weeks ago on Stephanopoulos, and he said, I agree with Dick Cheney. We need to look at keeping the powers that he accrued to the White House. And I saw a cover in the office of Newsweek or Time just yesterday where it was Cheney's picture looking down on Obama in the White House, and the whole issue is about, the whole cover story issue is about, I scanned through it, about how go ahead and use the powers Cheney got. It's good. Use incredible executive power. All the stuff the Democrats were hyped up and worried about. So it's another hollow action, kind of like he said he was going to immediately bring the troops home a year ago. Then he gets the nomination. He's going to bring them back in a year. And then now they're saying in 16 months they'll look at a timetable, and the Pentagon's saying, oh no, let's not do that. And then meanwhile they're sending 30,000 Marines. They are downsizing the troops. They're sending 30,000 Marines, they just announced today, out of Iraq into Afghanistan. So they're just shuffling the troops around, and we're losing more troops in Afghanistan right now than we are. See that mind control term? This isn't our government. This isn't our military. By the way, he said he would end NAFTA and GATT. He said he would get out of the Security and Prosperity Partnership. And then about 7 months ago, his spokesman up in Canada said, don't worry, industry, it's all rhetoric. We're just saying that to the public. And now he's reversed himself. He's for NAFTA. He's for GATT. He's for the SPP, Security and Prosperity Partnership, North American Union. He literally is betraying people on every single front viciously. And on that show with Stephanopoulos, what is it? I forget the name of the show. This Week or Face the Nation, whatever the one is with Stephanopoulos. I've got the video clip, and because I've been watching it for the film we're making. And he says, yeah, we need to use the new executive powers. And he said, and I agree, we need to do what Cheney's basically saying and get past all the campaign rhetoric. They're just right out in the open, like it's no big deal, saying it's all just campaign rhetoric. And then you've got all these millions of well-meaning people who are repudiating Bush and who are repudiating the torture and the secret arrest and the police state and the tripling the size of government. But they think repudiating Bush is doing it with Obama. And they have no idea how they're being betrayed or how they're being set up. Okay, that's a 26-minute audio blog. Folks, find out more at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. And just be aware of the incredible anti-human, anti-liberty, anti-freedom propaganda that's been made so popular and stylish and avant-garde when there's nothing new about it. It's just the elite selling you death so you'll stand down and believe that your own death or your own enslavement or your own loss of liberty or your own loss of standard of living is somehow a beautiful thing. It's not for the environment. It's only so the elite can control you and basically get you out of the way. Hey, Hun? Mm-hmm. Hun, anything else you forgot to add at the end of that audio blog? I know you got cold outside and came in.
Not really that I can think of, just except that it was a whole show about it. It was like a full episode, with that as the central theme. And
they also put it into a peer pressure mode. I mean, you've told me that every episode it's the old-fashioned person or the person that isn't cool or the person that isn't hip, and then they're always disproven wrong, and all the trendies dance around and everybody thanks them.
Yeah, and there was like one person. There's always one person who was like, "It's the mother's choice whether or not to do it," and everybody shoots her down. Or I don't remember who it was.
Yeah, but notice they don't say it's not your choice. They say you're wrong, but then they imply it's illegal.
They imply it's illegal and that it's bad. It's the standard of care. There's absolutely no question about it being completely safe.
So specifically, they said we need to call the CPS on these people.
Yeah, the doctor. Oh, and of course the doctor, the pediatrician. They're like, you need to go ahead and call the DPS. How many of these other children are you going to allow in here to infect our practice? And I guess he was providing an alternative for people. He said, yes, they absolutely should vaccinate, but if they don't, they should have a place they can go to still get care.
Yeah, so but let's expand on this.
You're still a proponent.
But I mean, here's what's happening. They're trying to get, as a guild, the professionals, the medical people, to refuse care to those of us in the population that won't take these, at best, tainted vaccines,
exactly.
And at worst, by design, bioweapons and genetic engineering tools. So the problem here, and yes, these are live, a lot of these are live viruses that actually engineer and change the body. But again, honey, it was only 5, 6, 7 vaccines a few decades ago. Now it's over 50, and now they're wanting us to take hundreds of them. And now they're talking about putting it in the food, so we quote can't get around it. I mean, it's just big pharma literally telling us they rule our lives, and then trying to make it an issue with the socialists. Whenever they want to euthanize somebody, they say, well, we have to do this because everybody's having to pay for their health care. And it's that socialist idea. Once things are socialized, then people can say that. And, oh, well, we have to go ahead and have this forced abortion because everybody has to pay for it.
Yeah, it's just on every
and you got to have the vaccine because, you're infecting everybody.
Right.
Even though supposedly if they've taken the vaccines, they're protected.
Exactly.
But in truth, it doesn't really protect them, so they know that.
Well, that and that, of course you're going to expire if you don't take, the things that, and I don't really know.
Do you know how many massive outbreaks we've had have been caused by the vaccines? The swine flu epidemic that killed thousands, on and on and on. Do you know how many of the major outbreaks have been caused by them? Or then when it's a bio-release of something that they then used to go after 4 million cows and 8 million sheep in England, the government admitted they released the foot and mouth. It's always them.